A soldier is bleeding out in a kill zone. No medic can reach him. Machine gun fire shreds everything that moves. But something low and armored crawls through the dirt. The robotic medic arrives. It stops the bleeding. Drags him to safety. No human rescuer was needed. The biggest killer on the battlefield is not bullets. It is time. A wounded soldier who receives treatment within 10 minutes has a 90% survival rate. After 60 minutes, that rate collapses. The problem is reaching the casualty. Kill zones, sniper corridors, and active crossfire make human rescue attempts suicidal. Robotic battlefield medics are engineered to solve this exact problem. The platform is a low-profile tracked robot. It stands less than 50 centimeters tall. The tracked chassis keeps the center of gravity extremely low. It crawls under fire that would kill a standing human. The total weight is between 150 and 300 kilograms depending on payload. Rubber composite tracks distribute ground pressure evenly. The robot moves across mud, rubble, gravel, and broken concrete without getting stuck. The locomotion system uses dual brushless electric motors. Each track is independently driven. The robot performs zero-radius turns by spinning the tracks in opposite directions. The electric drive is nearly silent. No engine noise betrays its position. The top speed on flat terrain reaches 12 kilometers per hour. In crawl mode through rubble, it slows to 3 kilometers per hour. The battery pack provides 4 hours of continuous operation on a single charge. But getting to the casualty is only the first challenge. The robot must find the wounded soldier. The conflict is detection. The casualty might be unconscious. They might be buried under debris. They might be in a smoke-filled building. The robot cannot rely on visual identification alone. The sensor suite combines thermal imaging, acoustic analysis, and chemical detection. The thermal camera identifies body heat signatures through dust and light smoke. The acoustic array detects heartbeats and breathing patterns at ranges up to 8 meters. A specialized chemical sensor sniffs for volatile organic compounds released by fresh blood. The fusion algorithm cross-references all 3 inputs. It generates a probability map of casualty locations. It pinpoints the wounded soldier within 30 centimeters of accuracy. Once the casualty is located, the robot must deliver treatment. This is where the engineering becomes extraordinary. The medical payload module sits on the robot's upper deck. The robotic arm with 6 degrees of freedom extends from the chassis. The arm's end effector carries interchangeable tool heads. One tool delivers pneumatic tourniquets. It wraps a constricting band around a limb and inflates to 250 millimeters of mercury. This pressure stops arterial bleeding in under 5 seconds. Another tool head administers hemostatic injections. Needle penetrates the wound cavity and injects clotting agents directly into the hemorrhage site. The system uses force feedback sensors to avoid over-penetration. The dance is in the diagnostic capability. The robot does not just apply bandages blindly. It assesses the casualty first. Vital signs monitoring pad presses against the casualty's chest. Reads heart rate, blood oxygen saturation, and respiration depth. The onboard processor runs a triage algorithm. It categorizes the casualty as immediate, delayed, or expectant. The treatment protocol adjusts automatically. The soldier with massive arterial bleeding gets the tourniquet first. The soldier with penetrating chest trauma gets a chest seal deployed. The robot prioritizes interventions by lethality timeline. But stabilization means nothing if the casualty stays in the kill zone. The robot must extract. The extraction mechanism uses a ballistic drag platform. A flat Kevlar-reinforced stretcher deploys from the robot's rear. The robotic arm rolls the casualty onto the stretcher. Retractable straps secure the torso and legs. The robot reverses along its own tracked path. It already mapped the route in. It follows the exact same terrain back to the collection point. The total extraction weight capacity is 120 kilograms. The robot moves at crawl speed during extraction, low and slow, beneath the line of fire. And the robot does not operate alone. Multiple robotic medics deploy across a battle zone simultaneously. Each unit communicates via encrypted low-power mesh radio. They share casualty locations and status updates. The human medical officer monitors the entire swarm from a command tablet behind cover. One person supervises 6 to 10 robots at once. Urban combat. A reinforced infantry platoon pushes into a contested city block. The buildings are shattered. Rubble chokes every street. Enemy fighters hold the upper floors. The platoon advances building by building. Then the ambush hits. The machine gun opens fire from a fortified position 200 meters down the main road. 2 soldiers drop in the open street. The third is hit inside a partially collapsed doorway. The platoon is pinned. Return fire suppresses the enemy position, but nobody can cross the street. The kill zone is 40 meters wide. Anyone who steps into it dies. The platoon sergeant deploys 3 robotic medics from the rear staging point. The first robot rolls out from behind a concrete wall. It is barely visible above the rubble line. Machine gun rounds crack overhead. The robot's acoustic sensors triangulate the fire source. It plots a path that keeps the rubble between itself and the gun. The robot crawls through a drainage channel running along the street edge. It reaches the first casualty in 90 seconds. The thermal camera confirms a living body. The vital signs pad deploys. Heart rate is 140. Blood oxygen is falling. The triage algorithm classifies the casualty as immediate. The robotic arm extends. The pneumatic tourniquet wraps the soldier's left thigh. It inflates. The arterial bleed stops. The hemostatic injector delivers clotting agent into the secondary wound on the abdomen. The second robot takes a different route. It cuts through the ground floor of a bombed-out building. It navigates around fallen beams using its lidar array. It reaches the soldier in the collapsed doorway. This casualty has a penetrating chest wound. The robot deploys a vented chest seal over the entry wound. It administers an auto-injected analgesic. The soldier's breathing stabilizes. The third robot reaches the second soldier in the street. This casualty is the most critical. Massive blood loss from a fragmented femur. The robot applies dual tourniquets above and below the wound site. The vital signs show dangerously low blood pressure. The robot flags this casualty as priority extraction. It deploys the drag stretcher. The robotic arm rolls the soldier onto the Kevlar platform. Straps lock down. The robot begins reversing through the drainage channel. Machine gun fire impacts 2 meters to the right. Concrete fragments spray across the robot's chassis. The armored shell absorbs the shrapnel. The robot keeps moving. It drags the casualty 60 meters to the collection point behind the concrete wall. Total extraction time, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The first robot finishes stabilizing its casualty and begins its own extraction sequence. The second robot does the same from inside the building. Within 8 minutes, all 3 wounded soldiers are behind cover and stabilized. No additional casualties were taken during the rescue. No medic crossed the kill zone. The human medical officer reviews the vital signs data transmitted from each robot. Evacuation helicopters are called. The triage data is forwarded digitally. The surgical team at the field hospital knows what injuries to expect before the casualties arrive. But robotic medics have limits. They cannot perform surgery. They cannot intubate. They cannot manage a tension pneumothorax beyond applying a chest seal. Their drug payload is limited to 4 interventions per deployment. In heavy rubble, the tracked platform can become physically trapped. Electronic jamming can sever the mesh network. This forces each robot into fully autonomous mode with reduced coordination. They are first responders, not replacements for combat surgeons. The most heroic act on any battlefield is rescuing the wounded. Robotic medics do not replace that courage. They go where courage alone is not enough. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more breakdowns of the technology reshaping modern warfare.